do this.
Oh yeah, it is a rainy day here in Atlanta, Georgia. But the vibe is white hot today because it is season 2, episode 19 of Better Than Broadway.
BTB.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah, it was literally 10 minutes ago. I took my dog outside and it was like, oh, it's nice and sunny. And then I'm like, what? It's sprinkling. And then it went to like thunderstorm.
Yeah. Well, it's always sunny in Philadelphia, but it's always rainy in Atlanta, Georgia, apparently.
It ain't sunny right now.
I'm starting to think that we need to change the name of Atlanta to Seattle. Welcome to Seattle, Georgia, everyone. We hope you're having a wonderful time here on the Better Than Broadway podcast. Good Lord.
Who knows, man? I think Atlanta could do with a lot more rain. Just because what I love about Atlanta is like it is the city in the forest. And it's like the more rain there is, the more green there is, and that warms my heart. So
yes, well,
it improves air quality too.
Yes, well, we don't know how long this forest is going to last, but hopefully it'll last a little bit longer. But we shall see. We've got some stuff going on here in town that doesn't really pertain to pro wrestling, but we'll get to that on another show. Everybody, this has been a really tough week for the wrestling industry. We lost the Iron Sheik this week, and Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri was born in Iran in the 1940s. What a brilliant man he was, known for his Twitter rants and outrage, which is what a lot of people know him for.
Quite well known.
Oh my God.
I mean, he was very fond of one person and then a 4-letter word.
Yes.
That's like,
yes.
And that one person was Hulk Hogan.
That's right.
I'll let you guess the 4-letter word.
Yes, the 4-letter word. It was everyone's favorite 4-letter word.
Not
talking
free.
About Hulk Hogan. And but anyway, the Iron Sheik was so important. Kaz was so important on the wrestling industry. Coming from Iran, being part of the military, and being an Olympic wrestler for Iran, and then coming over to the United States and
trailblazing.
Yeah, a trailblazer, becoming a professional wrestler and being probably the most hated heel in the world, because he was Persian, he was from Iran, and there was a lot of conflict in the 80s with the United States and Iran. Sergeant Slaughter actually said that he feared for Kaz's life night in, night out, because he was so hated. He would spit on the American flag. He would spit on, the microphone. He would spit on people's shoes. I mean,
but that's still done today. Like, you see MJF going to Colorado and he's like, the idiots in Colorado, you're too high to know what's going on. You're all idiots.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's still done today. Like, wherever you are, you shit on it.
Sure.
You want to get some heat.
But at the same time, you've got to understand, we were still kind of in the era of kayfabe, and people were still like, this is so real. And I mean, they sold the shit out of it. They lived the gimmick, and they really, really did. The gimmicks were so real, and kayfabe and everything. So the Iron Sheik defeated a long-standing WWF champion, Bob Backlund, in 1983.
Bob the Chicken Wing Backlund.
Put him in his camel clutch submission, and Backlund would not submit until Arnold Skaaland threw in the towel. And Iron Sheik becomes a champion. Now, it wouldn't be until a little while later, not terribly far, at the same Madison Square Garden, where Hulk Hogan would defeat the Iron Sheik for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship, spawning Hulkamania. And, Sheiky Baby was a little miffed that he was a transitional champion for Hulk Hogan, and his entire Instagram, not his entire Instagram, his entire Twitter feed is pretty much F Hulk Hogan, and I am the legend of the earth and all this other stuff. He was a staple on Howard Stern. He was an honorary Whack Pack member on Howard Stern's show for years and years, and he would go on with his medals. And I mean, he was such a character, and he lived the gimmick. And it's a shame we at BTB had been in the works of getting him scheduled to be on in August, and it just really never came to fruition.
It sucks, man.
No one really knew that his health was bad. I mean,
If you're in your 80s, you got to take care of yourself.
yeah,
It's physical fitness. Like
right.
exercise is the fountain of youth,
Yeah.
and it's like the harder. Obviously the man was in great shape.
Phenomenal shape.
Especially after taking all the bumps and the hits. Like you see a lot of pro wrestlers in their 60s, and they look rough.
Yeah.
And it's like if you don't keep you maintaining yourself, like it's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
No one wants that. No one wants that.
Moral of the story: everyone keep your fitness as long as you can, because it
Lift
really
more weights. Go to the gym.
Do a lot of squats. Do a lot of squats. And you'd be able to get off that toilet, get out of the shower if you fall. It's really
Rob, you're a weightlifting coach. What would you say, if you had to narrow it down, would be the single best movement or exercise if you had to narrow it down to one? You just said squats. I know squats are kind of like the best thing ever.
No, it's got to be the squat. It has to be the squat, because there are three things that really and truly are indicators of longevity. Leg strength is number one by miles.
Interesting.
And think about having to get off the toilet. Think about if you fall, you have to be able to push yourself up off the floor. So that is the key indicator. Core strength is secondary, but actually you'd be surprised. Grip strength is almost more important than core strength.
If you're going to go on an American Ninja Warrior, you have to have grip strength.
Well, think about this. Think about you've got a towel bar, or you've got one of those safety bars next to your shower or somewhere in your house. And if you can't hold onto that bar and pull yourself up because you have no grip strength, you're in trouble.
Yeah, fair point.
You're in trouble. So grip strength, core strength, and leg strength are your three pillars. And those are the most important. But going back to real quick to the Sheik, March 15th, 1942 to June 7th, 2023. He died peacefully here in Georgia, his family home in Fayetteville. We would like to send some condolences and prayers to Carol, his wife of 37 years, and the rest of the Khosrow family, of the Al-Waziri family. The Sheik was a dynamo. He was a trailblazer. He was very impactful. And I just absolutely love the guy. What a great heel. What a funny guy.
And what a great mustache. Like, I'm envious.
Great mustache, great boots. Everything about his presentation was phenomenal. And he will be truly missed by our industry.
Well,
rest in peace, Sheik, baby.
Wasn't the Iron Sheik also what they're mimicking in the movie The Wrestler with the Darren Aronofsky movie?
Yes. It was
Randy Ramjet.
Ernest the Cat Miller's character, the Abdullah or something like, not Abdullah, that's wrong. What was that character's name? It wasn't the Sheik. It was something to that degree.
Right.
Mickey Rourke was the Ram, Randy the Ram.
Randy the Ram.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
And they say that a lot of Randy the Ram's character was based off of, I think, Roddy Piper and Ric Flair and someone else. There were three wrestlers that they had based Randy the Ram on. But Ernest the Cat Miller's character was the Ayatollah. That's the
Ayatollah. That's right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. It's totally the Iron Sheik.
It's like, is the Abdullah? No, that's not right. Abdullah the Butcher. It's not right. So, but yeah, man, rest in peace, Sheiky baby. We love you forever.
Thank you for trailblazing, dude. Knocking down walls. I love it.
Yeah. Well, let's get into a little news. Big stories coming out of Impact Wrestling this weekend. Big weekend for the Motor City Machine Guns. Oh man, I am thrilled for these guys. Thrilled for these guys. So Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley are the Motor City Machine Guns from Detroit. Chris Sabin defeated Trey Miguel to become the new X Division champion, which is a title that he has now won 9 times in his career with TNA/Impact Wrestling. A huge milestone, something that probably no one will ever do again. he is the ultimate X Division champion. That was a little play, that was a little pun there on the Ultimate X match. And even bigger news, holy crap, unbelievable. After 18 years in Impact Wrestling and being a generational talent, being the guy that pretty much trained everybody, Alex Shelley is your new Impact World Heavyweight Champion after defeating new champion Steve Macklin, who's only been champion for 40 days. He just defeated Josh Alexander. Well, he didn't defeat Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander relinquished the title due to triceps injury, and Steve Macklin defeated Rich Swann for that championship. And, you know, he's been a really good champion, and the guy's been in Impact for 2 years. He's really been trying hard to work his way up, and he's a great talent. But Alex Shelley, man, Alex Shelley had never been Impact champion. And on the last episode of Impact 2 weeks ago, Bully Ray and Steve Macklin, the Guns, are standing in the ring. And Bully Ray says, "You don't think you can actually beat this guy and be world champion, do you?" And Shelley just looks at me and goes, "Yep." Yep.
So tell me, what is the impact, no pun intended, of Alex Shelley becoming the new Impact champion?
So about a decade ago, maybe 2013, I think it was 2013, when Bully Ray was running rampant with the Aces and Eights in Impact Wrestling, Chris Sabin was the X Division champion, and he cashed in his championship with the Option C protocol, where you can cash in your championship, your X Division championship, for a shot at the world title. That was something that Austin Aries came up with in like 2010 or 11, and he was successful. So a lot of guys have done that since. So you take a guy like Chris Sabin, who defeats Bully Ray. Now, he only held the title for a month, but he got to be world champion, which was a big deal at the time, because, you know, Chris Sabin is one of the most beloved tag team talents with Alex Shelley. I mean, the Motor City Machine Guns have been multi-time tag champs. So Alex Shelley has never won the big one. He's been the champion. He's been the tag team champions multiple times with Chris Sabin. And he had a tag team in New Japan. He's been the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion with Kushida, who is part of the Time Splitters. And
what a great name.
What a great name. And
the Time Splitters.
I love it. I love it. And so Alex Shelley never really got his chance. And for 18 years, he's been with the company pretty much since the beginning.
With Impact?
With Impact. He's like Frankie Kazarian. Kazarian's never held the title. And I really hope that before Kazarian retires, he'll get that chance. But
Frankie, I mean, he had a moment where he was popping pretty hard, but I don't know. What do you think? Kind of just, he couldn't harness the fire that he had for a moment with AEW. I
mean, they were.
He was the elite hunter.
Yeah, SCU was, I think, the longest reigning tag team champions in the history of AEW. So I mean, I think he did catch lightning in a bottle there, but yeah, I don't know what it is. I think there's always opportunity meets readiness, and he's been put together. I mean, granted, Frankie Kazarian is a talent all in himself. He's fantastic, but he has been with when he was in the Fortune faction, he had AJ Styles, he had Bobby Roode, he had Chris Daniels. So he was the fourth guy, and James Storm. And, you know, everyone in that group held the Impact or TNA World Heavyweight Championship except for Frankie.
Oof.
And I'm a big fan of Kazarian. I think he's fantastic. He's been the X champion. He's been a tag champion. He's been a champion everywhere he has gone. And hopefully there will come a time where he is able to get his moment the same way Alex Shelley got his moment Friday night at Against All Odds. It was such a strange thing, too, because, you know, they had pushed Macklin so hard, and he was doing the thing and having crazy matches, just bleeding all over the place. He beat PCO, who is phenomenal. Pierre-Carl Ouellette, who was in the Quebecers. He's had a very storied career. He was in WWE, WCW, all these companies, Ring of Honor, and now he is the he's like the Frankenstein character that just won't die. But what a great gimmick. I mean, he is fantastic. I love watching the guy work. But you know, with Steve Macklin, I feel like he deserved a lengthier title run. But Alex Shelley's our champion, and I'm here for it. I'm so thrilled that Alex Shelley is finally getting his opportunity to be the champion because guys like that who have helped
Put in
train
their
a lot of
dues.
people.
Yeah.
They've worked with everybody. I mean, he cut a promo a couple of weeks ago saying that he had helped train this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and a lot of those people, helped MJF.
Right.
He worked with everybody, and to give him an opportunity, even if he only holds it for a month. He's been world champion. Same thing with Chris Sabin. He only held the title for a month, and then Bully Ray won it back. But he won the damn title, and he got to say that he was a world champion. He's been a Triple Crown TNA Impact champion. And Alex Shelley.
Also, what I think on here is, Alex Shelley, he's recently 40, and it's like, some guys you put in your dues for a lot of years before you get that,
Sure.
you finally take that gold, and it gives you an appreciation for people who come out of the gate and they're just hot, and you have like MJF or like a John Cena. But I mean, like, for the people who never stop grinding, the people who, put in the days, they help others to make sure other people succeed. Those are the people that have the respect, they have the locker room behind them, and therefore, like, when the audience chants, "You deserve this," you really deserve this. Yeah.
And a journeyman's career. He's been to Japan. He's opened a school. He's done all the things, and now he is our Impact World Champion. Hopefully for a while, but at Slammiversary in a couple of weeks, he's got to face the national treasure Nick Aldis, the husband of Mickey James and the father of Donovan. So we'll see.
I hope he's the father.
they've made a really big deal out of Nick Aldis coming back to Impact. So hopefully we're gonna have something. I just hope that we don't have two transitional champions in a row, because that sucks.
Sure.
But anyway, congratulations to the Motor City Machine Guns. Let's go. Proud of you guys. Let's talk about MJF, guy. Let's talk about MJF.
MJF, golden what golden tongue, golden mouth, like on the mic, like, yes,
just the golden tongue instead of the silver tongue.
Golden tongue. Yeah.
He has the triple B, baby. The Burberry tongue. Let's go with the Burberry
tongue. There we go.
Burberry tongue.
He would appreciate that.
I think he would.
Yeah, I mean, he started up a right old feud with the recently returned Adam Cole, which I think it's great. Like, they're both world-class shit talkers. When Adam Cole came out, like, Adam Cole has this very rehearsed entrance. He goes out there, gets some Adam Coles, he goes to the outside of the ring, you get the boom, and then he goes in there, he does this every single time. He walks in there shaking his arms, and then, like, he waits for his Adam Cole baby moment. And I was like, what's MJF letting this happen? He needs to have him cut the move. And then immediately MJF did. I was like, good. Yeah. Like, dude, you're the champion. You control this business.
Well, it's funny. It's funny real quick, because almost to the day, and this is why I love AEW and I love wrestlers like MJF, Adam Cole, these guys, because they use history. And Adam Cole's doing his thing, he's doing his big hands, he's getting ready to do the Adam Cole baby, and MJF's cut it. Well, 20 years ago, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H is coming out of the ring when he shaved his beard, when he just looked crazy, because he was doing the Blade Trinity movie. And he comes out and he's getting ready to spit his water, and he ducks his chin. And next thing he knows, Stone Cold's like, no, cut the damn music. I'm tired of this son of a bitch. No, you're not. You're going to get in this ring and talk to me and not spit your stupid water. Now spit it out and get the hell in here.
And he just, blah, 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 blah.
I just things like that just make me smile, because I love the throwbacks that they do. And it just makes you feel like, man, these guys really do love wrestling.
Yeah. No, and weirdly enough, I watched that clip recently, and I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And yeah, I mean, that was just you're having fun. And when you have fun, it shows. When you enjoy your job and you love it, everyone can tell, and your performance is better.
Yeah. We're having a good time. I mean, I'm having a great time. I don't know about you. I'm having so much fun talking to
This is
you.
the worst moment of my life, Rob.
You hide it well
Talking pro wrestling with a friend. Yeah, this sucks.
You hide it
Uh,
so well behind your sunglasses, Chef Ryan.
So you can't see the pain, Rob.
Yeah, I was you last week. Actually, I signed
saw, yeah,
out, and I had the sunglasses on, and it was my daughter's sunglasses. And then they were like, "Wait a minute, you're not Ryan." And I was like, "Ha ha, fooled you."
it wasn't me. It was the kids.
It was fun. That was an enjoyable moment for me. But no, man, Adam Cole and MJF are going to work a match. We don't have a date on that yet, but this is going to be exciting. And I love how MJF just tears people down, and then Adam Cole just claps him back. And then at the end of the deal, at the end of the promo, MJF says, you feel special because you're this and this. The only way I feel special is they ring the freaking bell, which is a callback to Adam Cole's promo with Karrion Kross in NXT. And I just love how they just do these things. They get away with the stuff.
Well, I mean, even before that, like, they're getting away. Like MJF literally said he was talking about Vince McMahon in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like, dude. Oh. And I think you have to acknowledge your competition, because if you don't, then you don't know what's going on.
Absolutely.
So I love that AEW is not afraid to talk about their competitors. Competition makes everyone better.
This is not a universe,
right?
We're the only ones in the universe. No, man, wrestling is wrestling, and I love the fact that AEW does these things. I did raise my eyebrow when Sami Zayn was healed out a couple of years ago, and they was doing the interviews in the ring, and he says these questions are trash. Why don't you guys ask me about this? Why don't you guys ask me that? Why don't you guys ask me about AEW? And everybody went, oh,
right. It's like,
I thought it was great. So I mean, it's wonderful that companies will acknowledge that there are other wrestling companies. That's why I love.
Did the company acknowledge AEW, or did Sami Zayn? And then they're like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Yeah, right. I don't know.
Better walk that back.
I feel like at the same time, everything has to be taken into account and approved by Vince, or in this case now it's Triple H. But I feel like back then, Sammy probably rolled into Vince's office and said, "Hey, I'm gonna talk about AEW and just have a shot." He's like, "Yeah, well, it might be a good idea. You go ahead and do that, son." So that's probably it. I feel like if I ever get to meet Vince, I'm gonna do the voice.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's pretty good.
And I feel like he's just gonna laugh, or he's gonna punch me in the face. It's gonna be one of the two.
Right. Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the scene.
WWE.
Reminds me of the scene from Ted Lasso where Roy Kent's girlfriend's like, "My name's Roy Kent. I get paid a lot of money to play a game, and I'm mad all the time." And then Roy Kent's like, "It's not bad."
Oh my god, so fun,
so good,
great show. You guys watch Ted Lasso? Let us know in the comments.
Yes, I mean, dude, Ted Lasso is a hug of a show.
It is.
Like when you watch, you feel like you're being hugged.
Yeah, I just started watching it not terribly long ago. So, wonderful opportunity for us to talk about the new titles in WWE.
But are they new? They seem like they're spray painted.
Copy, paste.
Yeah.
And then paint it white.
They just put a new filter on it. It's fine.
Yes, exactly. It's copy.
It's the sepia filter. No, this one's the inkwell. Oh, this one's, it's like, I mean, I get like they're like, okay, we've let our titles get out of hand. Let's rein it back in.
Yeah.
But like when they did the new World Heavyweight title for that Seth Rollins won, that was awesome because it was a brand new design. It was fresh. They're like, we're evolving it. And then we're like, okay, we're doing the new one for SmackDown for Roman. We're doing the new women's title. It's like, what's the difference? It's like that like a T-Mobile commercial or Verizon with Ted Danson. He's like, well, that one's purple. And it's like they're the same. Just that one's purple. That's it.
I know. So I get the idea of uniformity for the brands. I completely understand that because you have SmackDown, which have looks like the hexagonal looking title with the 5-6 sides hexagonal title, and the big W in the middle. I get it. And my guess is that when Rhea Ripley gets her title on Monday, it's going to be a small version of the World Championship, which her title will be called the Women's World Championship. And the Asuka's title is the WWE Women's Championship. So you have both world titles on Raw, and you have both WWE championships on SmackDown.
Well, I think, it's from the language that's being used. If you're the World Women's Heavyweight Championship versus the WWE's Heavyweight Championship, the world sounds bigger.
It does.
It encompasses all. WWE encompasses just the company.
But the WWE is the universe.
That's why it's the Universal Championship for, with Brock and Roman.
Right.
Yeah.
The world or the
universe. We're getting very deep today.
We're getting deep, man. We're getting deep. But yeah, no, it's cool because you've established separate championships. These are technically new championships, but they're still lineage. They're still linear titles, the way that boxing has lineal titles. So the history of the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship is the WWE Championship. And that's the one that is all the way back to, Buddy Rogers in the 60s. So that title matters. And then you have this women's world title, which holds the lineage of the WWE Women's Championship, which became the Divas title, which became the Raw Women's Championship.
Right.
The SmackDown Women's Championship will be the lineage of this title that Rhea Ripley has. So the lineages will continue on. So there's no, they're not new titles, even though they're new titles. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So at least that helps to keep things. So when Cody goes and kicks Roman's ass at WrestleMania 40 next year in Philly, he will, finish the story. That way we actually get to finish the story.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on Cody to take his loafer off and beat somebody with it. I would like for that to be he just beats Roman into submission with his loafers.
Oh yeah,
and that's how he wins. That's how he wins it.
Like the chancla, except it's a loafer.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Cody. I know we're not giant yet being the key word, but Cody, I watched the Royal Rumble in your house, your former house.
Right, we did.
Do us a favor, beat someone with your loafers.
Come on our show and talk about how you're
that too.
The loafers would be really funny. That'd be really funny. We'd have to get the music rights from downstate to introduce Cody on the show. That would have to be a thing.
So. I mean that can be done. That's just kind of that's easy. I mean, not easy, but there's a pathway to do that.
Right.
So I think the championships are good. They need to kind of clean things up a little bit, like Roman having 2 championships, and there's a new one. The tag team titles, they got to split those. Oh, so they took away his.
So they took away both belts, and now he's gonna have 1 belt.
Okay.
He's got 1. He ain't gonna walk around with no 3 belts. Shit.
I mean, Kenny Omega did, and it looked awesome. He looked like a man in armor.
Yeah, but he had 3 titles. He had the AEW, Impact, and a US title from New Japan. So he had titles from all these other places, which is badass. But I like the idea of, now this is another thing that we need to talk about. In 2 weeks' time, you'll have the women's tag team champions, Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, are going to face Alba Fire, the former Kaylee Ray, and Isla Dawn, the current NXT tag team champions. And they're going to unify those titles, which is a good move because having 2 women's tag team titles in the WWE NXT universe just doesn't necessarily work. It should have, but it doesn't, because those women's titles that were first won at WrestleMania by Bayley and Sasha Banks a couple of years ago, those were meant to be the women's tag team titles across all three brands.
Right.
So Sasha and Bayley were supposed to go to NXT to defend those on Raw, on SmackDown, on PLEs, all that. And it never really happened. So WWE was like, oh shit, well, we need some titles. So they created those NXT women's tag team titles. Those titles weren't supposed to exist. And somehow, some way, because WWE shit the bed on the women's tag division, which Ronda Rousey has highly criticized in interviews, it almost makes sense to say, okay, we're going to take these titles and we're going to defend them across the brands. I don't know if that's going to happen, but here's your chance to get it right.
I mean, it gives them so much more opportunity to at least put some longevity into it. Yes. I like that idea because, yeah, like if you have gets you on TV more, which is what everyone wants. And so, yeah, if it's an inner brand title, that makes it pretty unique. It's kind of like the 24/7 title, which, you know, we haven't seen in forever.
What's gone?
Who is the current 24/7 championship?
No one. That's gone.
Just buried it.
So Nikki Cross defeated Dana Brooke to win the title. She was the last champion. And she was walking backstage and she saw, and just, there was a trash can and she just dumped the title in the trash, a la Alundra Blaze, Medusa.
And did R-Truth pop up out of the trash can with it?
You know, I really, really wish R-Truth had done that, but unfortunately, R-Truth got injured on NXT about 3 weeks before that match took place. So he was already off TV. I would love for them to, when R-Truth comes back from his ACL surgery, to be walking by backstage and he just kind of looks in the trash and the title's in there and he just grabs it and just stuffs it under his shirt and leaves the building because, you know, I got my baby back, you know, like,
that would be hysterical.
The 78-time 24/7 365.
Or what if he, you know, like he gets to an altercation backstage and thrown into the trash can and like they cut away and he gets out, he's like pulling all the paper and banana peels off of him and he's like, absolutely, oh, look at this.
I know. I really, really and truly hope that WWE has the wherewithal and the forward thinking.
That'd be fun.
To allow him to just take that title and like just run out the building with it and just it never comes back.
Right.
Because I mean, really and truly, the only reason that title was entertaining at all is
R-Truth.
Because R-Truth. And even then, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a company in Japan called DDT Pro. And they had essentially a 24/7 championship. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it was the DDT Pro Iron Man Heavyweight Championship. And the thing is, it was a 24/7 title. Well, it changed hands 150 times on social media. Like people would take videos of this title changing hands all over and they just post it to social media like, this guy's the champ, this guy's the champ, this guy. So in a lot of ways, it was the hardcore championship because it did 24 hours a day. But it really was fun. And I know that a lot of people don't like the hokey shit in pro wrestling, but listen,
dude, they're putting their bodies on. There's nothing hokey about that.
This is pro wrestling. Okay. These
professional wrestling.
These guys are doing crazy shit night in, night out with these tope con heroes and tope suicidas. And, you know, Vikingo is Hijo del Vikingo is eventually going to get hurt real bad. And I hate to say that.
Yeah.
I do not want to manifest anything bad for that man because he is a national treasure. But I am terrified with the way he moves and his acrobatics. And,
like you know, like right. You ever play the Sega game Sonic the Hedgehog?
Absolutely, loved it.
Like when Sonic jumps and he becomes the ball and spins, and then he spins over here and spins over there. It's like that's who that guy is. He just jumps and he's spinning into a ball. and then crashing on somebody. It's like, dude, there's gonna be one. You're gonna lose all your rings, man.
One of these days he's gonna crash and all the rings are gonna come out of his body. Oh man, that guy, goddamn, he is so good.
I mean, please be safe. Keep going. Have fun. Be safe.
We really enjoy you on this show, so please be careful. 578 days as a AAA mega champion, defending his title, I think, in a three-way dance at Triple Mania Part 2 in a couple of weeks. I think it's next week, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, dude. Don't we have? Hang on, I'm checking my other monitor.
Of course.
Oh, okay. So we got a couple weeks. I was gonna like Money in the Bank is July 1st.
Yes.
Okay.
July 1st.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I thought it was this weekend.
Yeah, in London.
Ooh, everyone's going for that London money because AEW is gonna get in Wembley going on.
Yeah. Dude, that's so exciting that WWE is taking this opportunity this year to have shows abroad. I mean, with the pandemic, obviously, we really, they had the Thunderdome, and it was down in Florida, and you really couldn't do anything else. I mean, it was miss the TVs. I do think that was kind of
it was a genius way of having fans in the audience. Good job. Then I also like AEW. How like we're just gonna put our roster in the audience. Like, also good move. It's a move you can make.
It is. It shows the talent that what they're doing matters and that they're being supported. And as much as the Thunderdome era was fun, it's really great that the fans get the opportunity to be in the building and cheering and making signs again. I mean, what a great experience. And the O2 Arena in London is going to be red hot for Money in the Bank, especially if a certain individual wins the Money in the Bank. Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'm just saying, yeah.
Why are you saying that? Like, what's the purpose of that?
All right, so the it's the new.
I mean, I didn't ask you a question, Rob. Why are you saying yeah?
So it's the new what, essentially. Sean Rucker is LA Knight, the former Eli Drake. Now he's LA Knight, and it's interesting because WWE. Somebody told me the other day that WWE is piping booze into the arena.
Oh, they piped some booze during Dominic Mysterio, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they did. We'll talk about that in a second. But they've been piping booze in for LA Knight because for some reason the fans love him because it's just fun. And he says dummy, and he's like, yeah, and all this other stuff. Just I don't know. Yeah is becoming the new what. So now whenever he comes out, he'll do an interview or do a thing, and fans will go, what? Yeah. So it's just
nice
back and forth. And so they're having to pipe in booze because this guy's supposed to be a heel and he's getting over. Well, 82%, WWE did a poll last week. 82% of fans want to see LA Knight win the Money in the Bank ladder match. And
that would be good.
I'm here for it, dude. I'm here for it. That guy's awesome.
Well, no, because the thing is, I know we talked about LA Knight, or as our friend Chelsea calls him, La Knight. Like he was jobbing, or he was getting beat for a while, and and it's like, well, but he's on TV every week, like almost every time. Like,
yeah,
that's still a victory, dude. Like you're still out there and you're selling, and you're getting bits and promos, and
if you're on TV, you're getting promos, you're getting matches, you're getting over.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not sitting in freaking catering like Mustafa Ali did for a year, which, by the way, so glad that guy's getting his flowers too, because he is a phenomenal talent and he deserves everything that's coming his way, because that guy is damn impressive. And he was getting the push until he got hurt, and his push went to Kofi Kingston. And I honestly believe he would have been champion had he not been hurt just before the Elimination Chamber in 2017 or 18. I think it was 18.
Mm.
Was the year Kofi won the title.
I
From
mean, no, that sounds about right. Because I'm thinking it's 2017 or 2018 because I
Yeah.
remember seeing that. I'm like all my years are like, where was I living? Who was I dating? Oh, right. And I remember I was in this one apartment I remember when Kofi won.
Where were
So
you during Kofi Mania?
I was not in my current place.
I know.
Um,
Dominic Mysterio.
right. Like
Nuclear heat.
laughably nuclear heat.
Lord have mercy. There's only three people in the history of wrestling that have gotten more heat than Dominic Mysterio that quickly. Obviously, the Iron Sheik, rest in peace. Roddy Piper. It's
Yep.
a tie between X-Pac and Vicky Guerrero.
Oh God.
Excuse me. So, but no, man, like it's so funny because you said earlier in the show that Cody was like, I can't hear you over all these boos, Dom. Like, just shit.
It was just hysterical. Like every time Dominic started talking, they're like, crank up the
Oh
booze.
yeah.
And it was, oh my God, it was so funny.
But
Yeah, and like Cody was like trying to keep it together.
yeah, oh yeah. But you know what? It's like I said, you're on TV, you're doing promos, you're getting heat, you're getting over.
Yep. And, and then if you've done a few days in jail, like, and you get the tattoo, it makes you legit, dude.
Your 15 minutes of jail time.
Yeah.
Put the Intercontinental title on Dominic Mysterio.
He beats Gunther.
Do it now.
Ooh.
No, I mean just tomfoolery, charlatanism, and thievery. Do whatever you got to do to get the title off of Gunther. Hell, you can do it in a four-way dance or triple threat or whatever you want to do, where Gunther doesn't have to be pinned and it keeps him looking strong, because it's time for Gunther to go after Seth Rollins for this world title. I mean, this is the direction that they need to be going in, because he's so good and he's dominant, and the guy's over like crazy. He's got Ludwig Kaiser as his mouthpiece. I mean, he really, his gimmick works so well, and the guy is world champion material. And honest to Christ, I think he's the only one on the Raw roster other than Finn Balor or Judgment. I almost said Punishment Martinez. The Judgment Days.
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest. Thank you. God alive. Luis.
Bruh.
Yeah, those are like the only guys that I can see challenging Seth Rollins right now. So give Dom the Intercontinental title, which will make the WWE go bananas. They will be so pissed. It will give him nuclear heat. Rhea Ripley's got a title. He's got a title. It makes sense.
No, and that would be good, like, especially, if Dom, cheats, he it's the 4-way or something like that. And like, Gunther comes out of it still looking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's like, what the fuck? Just like, well, this is beneath me now. I'm gonna go seek higher and bigger titles.
Absolutely. Gunther has elevated that championship to heights that it has not seen in probably a decade. And
well, it became just like he's just so strong, and his moveset is so diverse, and plus his story of, like, I saw a picture of him online, or from when his indie days, where he was very heavier.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, you're fat, and he got in fucking shape.
Yeah, he looks great,
and now is just killing people. Like, would I want to get kicked in the face? No. I wouldn't want to get hit with anything he has to offer. He's got a giant, like, size 12 hand. Like, like the big foam hands they have at hockey games. Yeah. That's the size of his hand. That hits you in the chest. Your whole your next life is going to have a red mark on your chest. So
take it from me, someone who's been chopped in the chest. That shit burns.
I imagine
it. And the thing is, you're sweaty. You know, you're sweaty. You know,
It's a nice little wet crack
well, yeah,
happens after it.
before you get in the ring, a lot of guys will put on baby oil. A lot of guys will just dump a bottle of water on their head because the lights are so hot. So they try to cool their body down. And you know, when you put a cold bottle of water on you, it makes your muscles pop too because they're tight
Yeah,
essentially. So
that's why you don't wear a Speedo in winter.
right, that too. So when they get in the ring, you're sweaty, the lights are burning on you, or you got baby oil on your body or whatever to make you shiny. And then when you get bam like that, I mean, it sounds like a gunshot going off because when a dry hand hits a wet surface, it's just like bam. So I mean, that's just part of the production value of wrestling. Is it's the same thing with the leg slap when they throw a kick.
Mm-hmm.
You listen, you go watch a UFC fight. You're
I
a
love
combat sports guy. You're a combat sports enthusiast. You watch UFC and Conor McGregor throws a kick or Anderson Silva throws a kick to some guy's thigh and it makes a pop sound and the crowd goes, oh
yeah,
because
the
they know how
echoes.
bad it hurts. Because most of those guys are practitioners, they're judo players or whatever they are. And so they get the idea of they've been kicked, even with pads on, they've been kicked, and it makes a pop on your flesh.
Well, that like if you're not used to if you're not used to those chest slaps, you're not used to those leg kicks. I mean, it sounds worse, it feels worse. When I've done Muay Thai or fought Muay Thai style, it's like I got kicked like across my glute, and like I had this like 6-inch bruise going across my upper thigh, and it's like, holy shit.
I'm gonna leave that alone. This is a family show.
Yeah, okay. That's why I put explicit on every single tag. But no, I've seen videos of guys that are like, hey, Demetrius Johnson. I mean, he is the 125-pound or 35-pound champion.
Demetrius Johnson, 135 or 145. But yeah, I know what you're saying. He's a lightweight.
Yeah, he is a small man, and some people are like,
powerhouse though.
Yeah, give me a leg kick. I just want to know what it feels like.
Oh my
and
God.
People are rolling in pain after those things. Like, I mean, I've taken leg kicks. They are not fun.
Yeah.
And it's like we say, like whenever I teach self-defense, you get okay with getting punched in the face by getting punched in the face a lot.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple.
That's how you callus up. I mean, like with weightlifting, we've got that knurly bar that goes across our hand and we build these calluses. Yep. I mean, mine are non-existent because I don't really train hard anymore. I go in and play, I don't really train. But when we were wrestling, you take flat back bumps and the first one knocks the wind out of you. And I love to joke with people all the time. It's like, hey, they shit talk wrestling, and I'm like, you can shit talk wrestling all you want. We can run down to Griffin, Georgia, and go to Nick Patrick's house and go in the barn and get in the ring. There's no AC. It's got a tin roof. It's 100 degrees in the barn. It's awful. And I'll just teach you how to take a flat back bump. And I took a friend of mine one time who was a karate, and takes the bump and knocked the wind out of him. He stayed on the ground for 5 minutes. So, and then, it's you're meant to protect lifting the curve. You're meant to protect your opponent,
right,
in the ring, because you're working with them. The entertainment value, it's a stunt, it is a dance, it's whatever you want to call it, but sports entertainment is sports entertainment, and watching a Marvel movie is watching a Marvel movie. Watching somebody fall in love in a 2-hour movie, in some rom-com. I mean, it's all the same shit. But
whoa. So you're telling me Alan Rickman didn't die and fall from Nakatomi Tower in Die Hard? Hans Gruber, I'm sorry.
If I told you that Alan Rickman didn't die at the end of Die Hard and then came in and was the sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood and did not die in Robin Hood and then came back and did Galaxy Quest and didn't die in Galaxy Quest and came back to the Harry Potter series and didn't die in Harry Potter, you'd probably be really upset.
What?
that is the biggest pain in the ass of like every Alan Rickman movie. I know this is not wrestling related, but I don't give a shit. We're going down this rabbit hole. It blows that Alan Rickman dies in just about every movie he's in.
He didn't die in Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah, you're right. He didn't die in Dallas. The other guy did. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, his the alien who loved him.
That's right. Yeah. Quillick. Yeah, Quillick died. That's right.
I mean, what a such a great movie. Everyone should go see Galaxy Quest.
Yes. Oh, I love Galaxy Quest. They were trying to make a sequel of that until Alan Rickman passed away.
Interesting.
Like it was in pre-production.
Yeah.
Alan was on board. Sigourney Weaver was on board. Monk was on board. Tony Shalhoub. Everybody was on board. Like everybody was ready to go. And nope. Sad.
It sucks.
Alan Rickman was such a brilliant actor. One of the all-time great villains in Hans Gruber and the sheriff of Nottingham. Beautiful man, great actor, Shakespearean trained.
Classically trained is what you want.
Classically trained, yes, that's correct. That's correct. So yeah. One other little tidbit before we go. In 1971, in the 180.5-pound weight class, the Iron Sheik won the AAU national championships for Greco-Roman wrestling.
Dude, that is those men who do Greco-Roman.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trained in freestyle wrestling, and whenever you've done Greco-Roman, you're like, these guys with telephone poles for arms and small legs who are just picking up like beer kegs and just like throwing them on the ground. It's like wrestling a bear.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever thought you're about to die? That's what happens with Greco-Roman wrestling.
Right. He was 29 years old when he won the AAU national championship for Greco-Roman wrestling. And then after that, he would be trained by Vern Gagne and the Billy Robinson, who Billy Robinson's one of the most legit tough guys to ever walk the face of the earth. He is on the same level as Randy Couture. Like he is just Don Fry, yeah. Don Fry, Dan Severn. Yeah. So just legit tough guys. And Billy Robinson, man, he was a submission specialist. And I think that's why Sheiky used the camel clutch. I think Billy Robinson probably taught him how to do that camel clutch. Because it's the Steiner recliner. And it's the Accolade, which was Miro's submission. A lot of people have used that sit down chin clutch.
The twerking of the back. Yeah.
That's a great move.
It's devastating. I think there could be a separate conversation of what do we think are better finishers, submissions or, pops. But, it's to me, I like the idea of you have to submit, which is such a good moment of like, you're tapping out.
Right.
But, like hitting somebody with, 12 or 14 super kicks is just as good. Or like, I'm sorry, a power bomb.
Yeah. I think they put out a list not terribly long ago of the top finishers of all time. And Hulk Hogan, you! His leg drop did not make the list. But I do think the camel clutch may have. But the number one was the Stone Cold Stunner, which is essentially the Ace Crusher, the Diamond Cutter, the RKO, all those cutter moves. All those cutter moves.
Well, no, like I don't feel like it is the cutter, because with cutters you like fly out and you drop their head flat with your momentum. With the Stone Cold Stunner, you set up with the kick, and then you go down, like you're being pile drived almost. Bang.
Yeah, it's like a sit down cutter.
Yeah.
But it jacks the jaw. I mean, it jacks the neck. It's the same.
Yeah, it totally like to mess up your neck, and all of a sudden you're stunned for at least good 30 seconds. I mean, that would happen to me. And then every time, like if you're drinking a beer or something and you get stunned, waterworks everywhere.
Yeah, I've taken that move,
Oh,
and you have to come down and kind of hug the guy who's giving you the move, and because if you don't, you will jack your neck. You have to like tuck your chin into it, but I mean, it's still kind of like you're like, whoa,
hmm.
it's a safe move, yeah, but it's still you're still kind of like, oh, for a second. And I love how Scott Hall used to sell it. How The Rock would
Oh,
like
dude, just he like launch out of the ring.
it's so fun. But yeah, no, I think that's a future show, like a 30-minute show. How do you feel? Which one's better?
Yeah.
Pop finishers or subs? I think subs are great. I think they're better than pop finishes because, like you said, it's the realism of the thing.
Yep.
You're making it real. I mean,
Can you fight out of it? Can you
can
deal
you
with the
fight out of
pain?
it? Can you break somebody's arm in the middle of the ring? Can you put them to sleep? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because most of your UFC fights either end in submission or knockout.
You hope. I mean, sometimes it's
Yeah, you
boring, but
hope.
yeah. But in the UFC, like you can't get to the cage and hold on the cage and have to break it.
No,
You got to get out of that. You're screwed.
right. Honest to God, if there was a way for them to break a submission hold by grabbing onto the cage,
That'd be
I think that would make UFC so much more entertaining.
well. No, what they need to do is the cage.
It piss all the fans off.
No. This is what we got to do. The cage needs to be electrified.
Oh my God.
So if you grab it, the current's gonna go through both people. It's like it's gonna suck, but I don't want to get submitted. Just That would be Dana White, make it happen.
Dana White make it.
You've done slap fight. Let's do
We also need a
electric cages.
rule. We also need a rule where people can jump off the cage and do like flying clotheslines and shit.
I mean, Anthony Pettis did the flying off the cage super kick.
Did he really?
That's what he did, dude. Yeah.
No shit.
I remember I watched it
That's
happen
awesome.
live. He leaped and jumped off, but leaped off, pushed off the cage with the same foot, kicked Benson Henderson across the face
Wow.
and nearly knocked him out. And it was like, oh my God, show that replay again and again and again. And like the commentators, they showed it 10 times in a row because it was so unexpected and amazing. I saw it happen in real time and I was like, oh my God.
That's badass. That's a guy who I feel would do really well in WWE.
Oh my God, totally.
I think he would be a fantastic addition to their roster. But yeah, that'd be a really good show for us to do. Finishers and subs and who you think would be legitimate fighters that would go into WWE from UFC, Bellator, things like that. I think that would be a really fun show for us to do.
Okay. I think that's also be a good question to put in our pre questioning for new people.
Hell yeah. I love that. Write that down.
I'm doing that right now.
Van Wilder, write that down. Well, Bud, you ready to close it?
Let's do it. Rob, thanks for jumping on today, man.
Brother, it's my pleasure.
Yeah. Happy wrestling, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy.
Find us on Spotify. Find us on Apple. Find us on Amazon. We got all the podcasts. We're
YouTube too.
We're on YouTube now. Fantastic. We are on Instagram at Better Than Broadway. For the coach, for the chef, rest in peace, the legend of the earth. Sheiky baby, we love you. We miss you. Congratulations, Motor City Machine Guns. You guys kick ass. Happy wrestling, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right. Play the music.
Play us out. Stevie Wonder.
Okay. We're gonna stop that.